Where do I start, man? It's mini homecoming at my, school. So I was having a pretty decent night, chilling with some friends, having a good night, right? And then I check my Twitter. I'm just scrolling. Everybody's always talking. I'm just scrolling like, I don't really feel like being in this conversation right now. Let me just scroll Twitter. I scroll. And I see people saying, this can't be real. I'm like, what are they talking about? I see a few NBA people I follow on Twitter. This can't be real. So my first reaction is go see what Sham's saying. I checked Shams. It says Luka Doncic is traded to the Lakers. I said, well, Shams definitely got hacked. Can't be real. I waited. I got a few calls. I got a call from like my best friend back home. My real hoop head back at the crib. He called me. I said, nah, it can't be real. It can't be. Then I get the ESPN notification. I see Chris Haynes. I'm like, oh my God, this is real. And I had to step away from the night I was having, which was, pretty decent. I apologize for my background. Nothing's clean. I just came in here, let it rip, and said, we got to talk about this. Because this may be the biggest trade in NBA history. Biggest trade for sure I've ever seen. And it's rare to me. I kind of said this in the little TikTok I posted. It's rare that we see a trade like this, a trade with these type of stars, with a Luka Doncic, with a Anthony Davis, two dudes that, in my opinion, they're Hall of Famers. When Anthony Davis retires, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and when Luka Doncic retires, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. It's rare to see a trade between two Hall of Famers, two Hall of Famers that also are relatively in their prime. While I think Anthony Davis at the tail end of his prime, he's shown you like a few nights ago where he had, I think, 40 and 20. He still got that. And Luka, we just saw Luka, I don't want to say carry his team because that Mavericks team was a good team, be the leading catalyst and the reason his team got to the finals in a year that I don't think many thought they could actually make it there. I think a lot of them thought they could be a dark horse team, but they made it there. Luka brought them there. And now he is a Laker. And I think there should be time for a deeper analysis, but it's what more is going to come out that's going to make this make sense. To me, for this trade to happen, something has to be very wrong with one of these players. Something. There has to be something we don't know about either one of these players. I seen the reports that, the Mavericks didn't trust his conditioning and all that stuff and didn't like it at all. And I saw a quote from the Mavs GM saying that they think defense is the reason you win championships, so they think they're going to get better by adding an all-defensive type player, a center to their roster. And those just, while, yes, I think they both hold some truth, they can't be the reason. You can't trade Luka Doncic, your franchise player, because you're worried about his conditioning. That's not why. We've seen the Pelicans stick by Zion, and they are probably more worried about Zion's conditioning than the Mavericks were worried about Luka's. They have yet to trade Zion. And they traded Luka without even telling him. He did not know he was going to be traded, which is also crazy. He didn't know about it. The Mavericks reportedly came to the Lakers about this. They came to the Lakers and said, listen, this is a deal. What you want to do? And if I'm the Lakers, I had one of my friends call me. He told me this doesn't really make sense for the Lakers. And I don't kind of get that, because the more I look at it, the more I love this for the Lakers. The thing we've been worrying about for the Lakers is like, what's going to be next? And now you have your next. It's Luka. While yes, there are probably some concerns about his health and all that stuff, it's Luka. You're getting Luka Doncic, man. You're getting Luka. Luka, who, if he retired right now, would more than likely be a Hall of Fame player. And he's only, let's look this up real quick. Luka Doncic is only 20. He's only 25. That's crazy. And you trade, and you're getting a 25-year-old who I think has been first team All-NBA like 5 times. That's not an exaggeration. I'm pretty sure every year except for his rookie year, he's been on an All-NBA team. And I'm pretty sure for most of those, he's been first team All-NBA. That's how good Luka Doncic is at basketball. And you get him for Anthony Davis. So while yes, Anthony Davis is a fantastic player, he's a great player. He also is an aging superstar who's had injury history that not many, that many people don't like, or that's just not good. He doesn't have a good injury history. So much so, he's had a lot of names thrown at him about this injury history, which I personally feel bad for, because some things are just out of your control. Some people, their bodies just can't hold up no matter what they do. That's just how they were built. And that's how it seems like it's for Anthony Davis sometimes. But with the Lakers, like from the Lakers' perspective, honestly, love this. I think the one thing I just want to say and main question I have is, how will this look on the court? And what's the full extent of Luka's injuries? Like, will we see Luka this year? Because we haven't seen Luka play basketball in a really long time when you think about it. The only reason Luka wasn't an all-star because he didn't fit the game requirement. So it makes me think, like, how bad is this injury? So will we see Luka this year? And also, when we see Luka on the court, what is this going to look like, man? What is Luka and LeBron going to look like? I don't think it's going to look that bad because I think LeBron has the ability to play with anybody. We've seen LeBron play with, ball dominant guards. He's played with Kyrie. He's played with the Dwayne Wades. Of course, he never played with a guard as dominant with the ball as Luka, but I'm 95% sure they're going to figure it out. When you have two players that are that talented, they're going to figure things out. I think it's more important about who you surround besides them. Like, it's now apparent that on this Lakers team, you have no need for getting a point guard. You don't have a need. You have Luka and you have LeBron. And also, I think this trade for Luka is probably going to make LeBron want to play for a little bit longer than I think he was intending to, because he has a potential to play with Luka Doncic, who could keep this team afloat for much longer than was anticipated with Anthony Davis. Like, if we take out this most recent injury from Luka has pretty much been an Iron Man type player. I mean, he's always been there. He always been ready to go. He's always been playing all these minutes. So we know he can do this. Now, of course, the health things are a concern, because if the Mavs were this concerned about this, then it must be something to at least look into, because the Mavericks know the most about Luka. We don't know much about Luka's health, and the Mavericks definitely know more than the Lakers. While the Lakers know more than us, the Mavs know the most, because that was their player, it was in their house, it was with their trainers. They know the extent of his injuries, his wear and tear in his body. So they really know. And that's something about this trade that just makes me think, is what is the health situation with Luka? Because if they're willing to do this, there has to be a reason. You don't just do this because. You don't just do this on some hunch. There's something There's something the Mavericks know that the rest of the general public that we do not know about Luka. And so I'm wondering what in the hell that is, or is this just one of the worst trades that we have ever seen? Really. Because it's not just the fact you traded Luka. It's not that. It's the fact that when you look at this deal, they only got one first-round pick, and they also had to give up draft capital. The Jazz, who were a team involved in this trade, is probably going to get swept in the rug because nobody really cares. I think they got like Jalen Hood-Schifino and 2 second-round picks. Oh, yeah, the Mavericks had to give up a second-round pick. The Mavericks traded away their second-best player in franchise history in that player's prime, and had to give up a second-round pick to make the trade happen? That doesn't... Why? That doesn't make sense. Like, bro, there's going to be so much more I have to say, and right now I'm just sitting here just like, man, that's why AD didn't play today. That's why. I was wondering why. Because when I looked at that Knicks-Lakers box score, because I was having a pretty decent night, I looked at him like, oh, AD... Why Jackson Hayes starting? Bro, I know Woj mad. Woj retired 1 year too early. Woj could have had the greatest Woj bomb ever. But, yeah, sometimes you gotta get out this game for your mental health, man. But, yeah, Luka's a Laker. AD's a Maverick. Jalen Hood-Schifino is a part of the Utah Jazz. We're not talking about it. That's a big move. It's really not, but... Bro... This is crazy. I apologize for my background, but dog, I had to say something.